Welcome everyone to week 3. It's good to see a lot of people that have rejoined us. This is our third week in 4 weeks of the Moxi Engage Spotlight project. Today we're focused on using Moxi for ads and insights. And we'll go through and explain what each of those mean. Joining us today, as always, is Aaron Sestero, our San Antonio Regional President. And then Melissa Anderson is our MoxiWorks account rep, and she is the expert on all things Moxi. So she's going to answer all your tough questions that I can't answer about Promote or we can't answer about Insights. And then Friday, we're going to have another Q&A experts panel. And it's not just Q&A. I'll kind of go over some of the topics we'll discuss at the end. What we found out is Friday is a good chance to do a little deep dive and then record that so you can follow up later. So Friday, we'll do a little deeper dive on some of this. And then really, we hope that you go out, turn on Insights, and we'll show you how to do that. Maybe you've run a Facebook ad or you've attempted to run a Facebook ad, then come back with any questions or feedback on Friday. So today, you should be able to become an expert on digital media marketing, which is Moxi Promote. And then you'll be using predictive analytics, which is Moxi Insights. And predictive analytics is that phrase that's been around in real estate a while. People promise it's going to be the saving grace or make everyone money, but really what it does is it helps you learn more about your clients and your leads. But the kind of exciting piece is we all have access to predictive analytics on our clients, and Aaron's going to do a deeper dive into that. But that's one of those tech words that people think is not here or not attainable or we don't have access, but you do have access right now. So main objectives, I'll provide an overview of the potential ads that can be created in Moxi Promote. I'll give you an idea of some of the lead generation ads you can create. I'll do a walkthrough as well to show you how easy it is. And then Aaron's going to learn how to more effectively work your sphere through Moxi Insights. So the first part is Moxi Promote, and that's the name of the product within MoxiWorks. But Moxi Promote allows you to market your listings and your business on Facebook, Instagram, and the Facebook Audience Network. So it's one ad that goes to 2 different social media platforms. But the Facebook Audience Network, it's a network of hundreds of other websites that your Facebook ads push out to. So think about those ads at the top or the sidebar, some follow me ads. These are geo-targeted ads, so it's ads within a geographic area around your listing or your city. So there's a real benefit to using Moxi Promote is that you're not just targeting Facebook users or Instagram users. You're able to get out in front of thousands of more people. Another benefit of Moxi Promote, it doesn't require that you have a Facebook business page. If you do have a Facebook business page, I have instructions on how to connect it to MoxiWorks. So for those of you that don't have a business page or may have never placed a Facebook ad, this is an opportunity to do so, and it takes a few minutes to get that set up and get it sent out. There are benefits to the Facebook business page, but you don't have to have one. And I'll say this up front, if you're already using Facebook ads or the Facebook Power Editor, or you're boosting your post, you may not use Moxi Promote, but there is a benefit that it basically takes and runs all the analytics on your ads and provides you with an easy to read report that you can share with your clients. So there's a benefit even if you're using Facebook Power Editor or Facebook Boost. Another big benefit is it connects to your Moxi agent site if you have one. It's going to allow you to drive traffic back to your site. And then I'm talking about how if you don't have a website but you want to do some lead capture, we can create what I call, quote, sign up ads. So here's a little preview of what the easy to read analytics look like. So this is something you could promote, allows you to promote your digital advertising strategy during a listing presentation, meaning you're going to promise that you'll put their listing out on 2 different social media channels and hundreds of other websites. This allows you to deliver ad results to your clients with easy to read reports. As you can see on the right, that's kind of the sum of the report. And you can also easily rerun top performing ads again. So if you have an ad that's doing really well, maybe you've captured some leads, you could just one click and rerun that ad. And I do want to say and I'll show you how to run the reports, but I do want to point out it's very easy. Once you go back into your ad, it also syncs up with your Moxi database. So you just start typing your client's name in, it appears, and you click send, and it's like one click, and your client gets a report on how well you've marketed their listing. These next few slides, I'm just going to kind of quickly go through the setup or the process of the setup, and then I'll show you within Moxi how easy it is to set up these ads, and I'll show you some kind of key points to where you can make different selections or change the ad type from listing to lead capture. Really, so the ad setup, and I know this image is kind of small. We'll zoom in on the other page. All you really need to do is add a description, right? Like, home for sale in Circle C. You're going to add a headline, which is the bold text. It's a attention grabber. So it could be click here for more info, or just listed, or the price. You can add a little additional text underneath that. A lot of times people add the home address if it's a listing ad. Then Moxi allows you to choose a destination page. So you can either choose the property listing on your website. If you don't have a website, it's just a single property information page with your information on it. Or you can add any destination page you like. Some people maybe use Twist Tours or one of these other products that gives you that single property site or the virtual tour page. You could add that as a destination page. You get to upload your own image, your own property image, or choose from some of the Moxi stock photos. Then what I like also is you can add a status badge, and I'll show you what that looks like. The status badge is it's an overlay. It's a text overlay of the image that says just listed, just sold, open house, etc. If you haven't done so on your first ad, you can go ahead and I'll show you where you connect Facebook to Moxi. I've got a link in here to those instructions. It's really simple. It's just a matter of adding your Facebook page URL, clicking sync up, and then you have to go to your Facebook business page and accept the connection. You have to approve the connection. You have to tell Facebook that Moxi has access to your account. They only have access to post on your behalf. They don't have access to go into your account and post on any of your personal stuff. And then the second to last step, replacing ad, is determining your reach. So when we talk about reach, it's how many people are you going to get? Do you want this ad to get in front of over what time frame? So you can choose your spend anywhere from between $49 and $199, and your time frame could be 3 days to several weeks. So that's how long the ad will run. And then you choose a target location. So is it a radius around the listing, or is it your entire city? And you are able to do anywhere between 15 and I believe 25-mile radius from the listing or from the city. Now, Facebook updated some of the targeting options, meaning they removed some options. So we used to be able to do like a couple miles from a listing. Now the minimum is 15 miles from the listing. And then when you're done with that, you'll click calculate reach, and that'll show you kind of an estimation of how many people your ad will get in front of. And when I say get in front of, it means as they scroll through Facebook, it shows up in their feed. So kind of the exciting part for this is the different types of ads. So Moxi designed it for you to use, send out just listed ads to your sphere and the area around the listing, or just sold ads, or you can do open house, or if you're a brand new agent and you don't have any of those, or experienced agent, you can advertise your services as an expert in that area. They can click back to your website and search properties and learn more about you. Some of the other outside of the box things I like to do with it, you can use your neighborhood news sign up link. We talked about that in the campaigns class. You can promote the neighborhood news sign up link via Facebook ad. So that's a lead generation tool. And on week 4, we're going to talk more about lead generation and how to capture more leads and categorize and follow up with them. But here's kind of a little preview. So you can promote the neighborhood news sign up page. And then last week we talked about the CMA request link that you build in Google Forms. You can use that to create a Facebook ad as well. Send that out to a market, capture new leads, and basically they're clicking on this. You see the little property value image, they're clicking on the image of the ad. That takes them to a Google form where it informs them, if you fill out this form, give me your name, address, a little information on your property. I'll give you a professional market analysis that you then send through Moxi Present. So that's a great lead capture tool. You're offering something of value. There's a call to action. It's a little outside the box, but it's a benefit of using MoxiWorks and G Suite together in tandem.
I love those examples, Edward. I love the idea of the no obligation market analysis, find your dream home to a buyer's wish list. And I know several of our team members have had great success even just posting the neighborhood news sign up link on their social media. So I can only imagine if they were putting ads out there for people to sign up with a free monthly report of what's happening in their immediate area, how impactful that can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you get the CMA request. Neighborhood news, they automatically get added to your Moxi Engage, right? So you have a new person or lead into Moxi. Now the CMA request, you then manually add that person into Moxi Engage. You can categorize them. We talked about that over the last few weeks. You set them up. You should set them up on Neighborhood News Custom Search and also send them a CMA through Moxi Present. But that's a great way for if you're an experienced agent, you're looking to generate more leads, you're looking to get more out of everyone being at home, being online, and then for new agents that are getting started in the business, it's a really useful way to start building your database. So, those ads, right? Get that person to click on that. They're giving you their information because they want something of value. Then you should be giving them that value and then starting a conversation. You send that out and ask a question. So then you started a conversation. Hopefully your IABS is sent with that question. And now you're talking real estate. So it's pretty exciting what we can do using these two products in tandem, like I said. Let me jump over. Jenny asked about the CMA request link to Google Forms. Where does the lead go? Yeah. So yeah, Jenny, whenever you create a Google form, you just get a notification that someone's filled out the form, and you click on the link, and it'll give you the form response, which is all the answers. And that's another thing for the Q&A I'll talk about at the end on Friday. I'll go through the setup of the Google form and how to use it and kind of how to customize it. But I have a template already set up in our Google form templates. And I'll go over that once again, because you can be using that for your email campaigns. You can put that on your email signature. You should be putting on these Facebook ads. And then keep in mind that we have an agent who's generated, Michael McCall, who's really big into the lead generation game and Facebook and YouTube and being online. He's going to be on next week talking about lead generation and then lead follow-up and / conversion. And then Maria, are we going to have a step-by-step PDF instructions? Yes, Maria. I have links on the Moxi resource page, the Moxi Engage Spotlight resource page, that link out to all of MoxiWorks step-by-step instructions. Ophelia said, what's the average fee? I'm going to show y'all a little bit about Promote on the walkthrough. $49 is the low end. I recommended start off testing $49 for 5 to 7 days. That's kind of what I think has been a sweet spot. I tested this as a lead generation tool, just like from a company level, and that's kind of what I went with. And then Jenny, we'll make sure you have access. Okay, Aaron sent out a link to. Oh yeah, Aaron also has a Google Forms video as well that she sent out a link to.
I think that's a great idea to cover that on Friday, Edward. But if anybody wants to tinker in advance and see how it works, they can do so.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we'll do a little deeper dive and really, out of all this, like I say, come suggestions and questions, which allows us to create more training material. I'm gonna get my Moxi Promote loaded up for you guys, and then I'll do a little walkthrough because I went through that first part pretty fast. That was just a quick overview. Let me go and present here. Great, so that should be presenting my entire screen. We will learn from week 1, our new dashboard in Engage. So I'm here in Moxi Engage. You can see pretty much anywhere in Moxi. You can see promote here up at the top, right? So it's a separate product now. I click on Moxi promote. And if I get promote and insights mixed up in my part, keep in mind I'm only talking about promote, but I realized that I tend to do that. So this is a Moxi promote landing page. It kind of gives you an overview of all the different websites that it's going to hit and the different social media channels. There's some videos, some informational videos on this as well. Kind of tells you how it works. But I go here from Learn. You can go to My Ads. If you're brand new, you haven't created an ad, you can do New Ad here or here. So if I do a new ad, you can either select Listing or Your Service. So if I select Listing, this is a listing I've manually entered into the system. But if you have active listings in the MLS, they'll sync up with Moxi Promote. If you don't see your listing here and you know it's active in MLS, send an email to support@moxiworks.com and they'll fix that for you. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's seen it happen once or twice. So all you do is you click on the listing you want to promote, click Next. And then on this page, you'll see on the right is your preview. On the left-hand side is the ad creation tool. So, and I'm just going to make it up right now. You can add anything you want here, or you can do the property description here. You can see the headline, it automatically says just listed for sale. You can leave that, or you can edit that. There's a couple of pre-built headlines, or you can create your own headline. And you can say click here anywhere, because whenever they click on the ad, it's going to take them to your landing page. The additional text, a lot of times people will put the address, but you can put anywhere. You can put additional descriptive, anything you want right here under the additional text. And you can see already how it's previewing. And it automatically loads your primary image from the MLS, but you can also go in, choose image, and you can swap out. It'll have your MLS images here. You can swap it out or upload your own image. Typically with a listing, I go with the primary. And if you want to, you can include your name and photo. So if you click that, you can see it puts your name, your headshot, sorry, your name and then your photo or headshot from your Moxi profile right here. If that doesn't show up, make sure you go into your account and update your headshot on your profile. And then if I want to add a status badge, click that. You can choose the background color of the badge, right? The orange is pretty close to our brand color, so I like to use that one. And your message options are open house, just listed, just sold, price reduction, and we can't use that one, right, Aaron? There's no public coming soon anymore, is that correct? I'm not the legal guy, so don't ask me, but.
I wouldn't use coming
Yeah.
soon, depending on your different boards and their rules.
Yeah, the boards have since disallowed. I'm just gonna say just listed, so it's eye-catching, update. You can take a look here. Beautiful home, Circle C, price, just listed, my name and photo, my headline here, address, and then it shows here the landing page URL. So destination page, if you have a website, it lists your website here. That's the default selection. If you don't have a website, my understanding is it's just like a single property profile page, or you can choose. Is that correct, Melissa?
We should generate a page if you don't have one, but I was checking, Edward, and if you haven't provisioned a site or set it up, it actually will prompt you to enter in a custom URL. So we might have changed things. I haven't had confirmation from our product team. So you will just want to make sure that there is a URL entered if you don't have a Moxi site, so that you're driving any of those clicks to go somewhere. Maybe one of the options Edward mentioned, like neighborhood news, for example, just somewhere that they're going to go to try and generate leads.
Well, I'll show you too, if you don't have a site. And my goal I know we're not focused on sites right now, right here. But look here, there it is.
Would a Facebook page or business page be a site or URL?
Well, the ad should and could and should. I have JBGoodwin Realtors because I was actually testing using our page, but the actual ad should be your page. You could send them to your page, but I was going to quickly show you, if you go to your listing on the JBG website, if you don't have a Moxi website, you can copy that URL. I have Scott here because I listed Scott as my agent, but you show up next to your listings on the JBG site. So you can also select the JBG website URL, copy that, and drop it here into the custom. But I do, and we will have a programs and instruction. We already have instructions. We'll help you get the website set up. So those of you that have participated in this 4-week program, you could and should have a website set up. So we're going to help you get those set up. I'll be sending out more information, instructions on how to do it, and the requirements to get a site. And it's really a 10-minute setup, and it's probably a follow-up class to this project, as I'll do another website class.
And Edward,
yes.
Just to jump in, we do have a Facebook page that it will default to if you don't connect your own Facebook business page. Is called Homes for Sale. So if you see that, that's just the default if you have not selected a page already, because it needs to have that kind of in the background. So you can see Edward's using the JBGoodwin one, and he mentioned kind of if you have a Facebook business page, you can connect that. But just want to point out, if you see that there, that's the Moxi kind of Facebook page that needs to be there in order for the ad to work. And that's kind of there by default. So if you have a Facebook business page, I would encourage you to connect that. Go ahead and get the approval on the Facebook side. And if you don't, I think it is worth setting one up. And it sounds like your brokerage has you covered on how you can do that as well.
And post this, we're going to send out more links. You know, there's some specific Trek rules. So on setting up a Facebook business page, if you set up a Facebook business page, I recommend sending it to your sales and leasing manager, your office lead, to have a look at it. There's several specific Trek rules, and I have those linked into the resource page, so you can go read it, or you can ask us to help you take a look at your page and make sure you're compliant, because it's very similar rules to the website, meaning you can't present yourself as a broker. You have to have the logo, you have to have your IABS, but I'm not the legal, so your office lead, sales and leasing manager can help you with that, and or read through the Trek rules. So just like Melissa said, if you don't have a Facebook business page, you can always use this Homes for Sale business page, which is generic. But we recommend that you set up the page. If you've gone through Momentum, if you've worked with Zach, he says you got to have a page because that's how he started making money when he just moved to Austin. So if I'm happy with the way my ad looks here, I've got my Facebook business page connected. I'm going to send everyone to the listing page on my agent website. I click next. So here's the ad, you know, the range and the budget. So you can select the default to 79. If you're just getting into the game, you can choose 49, you know, over 5 days. Give it at least 5 days. I'm going to leave the target location, the listing address. I'm going to take this down. It goes up to 50, but I'm taking it down to 15 miles right here, because you start getting out into 50 miles, that's a massive area. That's county-wide. And this is up to you. You can test different ranges. I bring mine down close to the listing, hit calculate. So that's going to get it out there in front of 1,500 to 2,900 people. That's pretty good. If you start changing some of these parameters, let's go to $99, calculate reach, it gets you in front of about 6,000 people, right? So you saw in one of my ads, I had, you know, 1,900 impressions or views, then about 47 clicks to my website, so at $49. So that's about $1 a click to my website, and that's lower than the industry standard as far as PPC in the Austin, San Antonio area. So it's good traffic to my website. I was able to get the ad out in front of a couple thousand people, and then I was able to present my seller with a report selling them. I'm doing everything I possibly can to market your listing. see what happens if I go 2 weeks. And then, oh, it's not going to give it until I change the dollar amount. Yeah, $200, 2 weeks, 12,000 people. It's not too bad. I'm going to click next here. You have to certify that you're the listing or selling agent of this property, right? We don't want to promote someone else's property. And then pay the money. It'll take a little while for that to run, so it's not going to run immediately. It should run the same day, but Facebook has to approve our real estate ads to make sure we're following, their rules, the Fair Housing Act, et cetera, et cetera. And then just confirm your purchase, and that's it. And I'm going to take you quickly back to my ads, and I'll show you here. These are some ads that I ran a while back. You can see this is your ad management page here. You can click 3 dots. You can quickly run them again or send a quick update. You can click into the ad, get a little more information on total clicks. So 16,000 people reached, 47 clicks to my website. That was $79 for a 1 week run. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. This gives you a preview of the ad here. And then if you wanted to just update your client, you just send a quick update right here. And you just start typing in your client's name. And you can choose Nick Van Valkenburg. That's a real person that works at MoxiWorks. This is your subject line. And then you can add a message here. You have 250 characters. Preview the email, and then send it out. And I'll show you real quick. I'm going to do a real quick demo on advertising your services, but using one of the other ad types that we talked about. I'm going to go new ad, services. Next. Same thing.
Edward,
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Does this ad take the place of your Facebook business page ad, or does it run parallel?
Well, it runs on Facebook as if it came from your business page. So Moxi is posting, they're running the ad on your behalf.
Okay, so you only have one expense.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, you're not paying Facebook separately. So the $49 includes the ad budget that Facebook gets and a small percentage that Moxi gets for the use of the tool.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good question. So I'm just going to choose image here. I can grab a stock photo, or upload my own. I've already uploaded this image, right? So now I've quickly created this CMA ad here. How much is your home worth? Or you could say the market is hot right now, or whatever you want to say. We'll give you some more examples on text or content. We'll share these type of images that you can use within your ads via a link to a Google Drive folder. At the bottom here, you can include your name, badge, and photo. I don't on this ad because it blocks some of the text I want to display. And then if I want to change my website, I click custom URL, and here's where I drop in my Google Forms URL, which I've done before. So that's a link to my Google form. Friday, Aaron sent out a video on how to create a form. Friday, I'm gonna dive a little deeper into how to create these different sign-up forms for CMA, for newsletter, and then Moxi Engage also, they provide you the neighborhood news sign-up form.
Hey, Edward.
Yes.
While you're on that page, a question came in about how an agent can grant access to Moxi from their Facebook business page. So while you're there, so in the area that Edward's looking at right now and pointing to, by default, you'll see the homes for sale if you currently are not connected to anything. And because Edward's already connected, he's not going to see this option, but you will. There will be a little section that says add your own Facebook business page and a little hyperlink that says set it up in my account. And Edward can't show this since he is connected, but you'll see that if you click it, it'll take you to your roster is what we call it at Moxi, so that you can go ahead and connect it. So Edward's showing you the help article where it points it out where it'll take you to. So it's a really easy way to get there without having to try and find it, but you can also use that article as well.
And I've got the link to the article in the slideshow here as well. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. It if you don't have one, it prompts you to, it walks you through, and then once you've click submit on the Moxi side, you then go to your Facebook page. You should have your Facebook business page. You should have a notification from Facebook that you click on and approve the connection. Facebook will be asking you, do you approve this connection? So MoxiWorks can post on your behalf. And that's how quick, it's the same process as a listing ad. You can create these other ads, right? So, we want you guys to stay legal, but you're gonna think of a bunch of different ways to use this ad tool, not just promote your services, but generate leads, offer value. This is valuable to everyone. Day one agent or an experienced agent can use this tool, generate new business, build your sphere. Ideally, you're creating a real estate conversation and getting in front of a real person with using these ads. I'm gonna stop presenting. I've been talking too long. Is there any other questions that came in that I didn't address?
There was a question about, can you put a Matterport video instead of a photo into the ad? And I can take that one. No, right now it is just an image, so you wouldn't be able to add in your Matterport video. And just as a heads up, we have had some agents upload a GIF. And while that's super cool, I know GIFs are really popular nowadays, it does actually cause some issues. So I would recommend sticking with an image and not using a GIF or some other type of file. And
Maria, one of the things you can do, I think that's Maria that asked that, it's kind of what we do with the video email campaign. You can take a screenshot of that Matterport video where, where it has like a little play triangle that's overlaid. You upload that as the image, but you link it to your landing page that contains your Matterport. So when they click on it, it looks like it's going to play the video. It just then takes them to the Matterport landing page. So that's one way to get around it. But Maria, offline, if you're getting that deep into it, shoot me an email. We can talk about the other aspects of Facebook.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. But it's kind of a workaround which works, right? We all know what a video preview image looks like, a thumbnail with the play symbol, and we're all like conditioned to click on it. So that's why we do that with the video email template. It works, and you can do the same thing with this Facebook ad. Oh yeah, it's recorded. Oh yeah, it's recorded, so I get to review myself and see all my interesting. Sometimes I realize, like, we used to, make fun of people, but I realize I'm way close because I get excited about it. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Aaron. If you don't have any more questions on the promote side, if you do have some questions, see us Friday, rather. We're going to answer your Promoted Insights questions. Like I said, I'll do a deeper dive into some of these. And then we want to hear any stories you have about using Promote on Friday.
I kept some notes on questions that you guys asked, examples, Google Forms. So Edward and I will get together and put together an overview for Friday and the follow-up. And Edward's been sending out all of these links to information for us in his follow-up email, and you can find it on the Moxi Spotlight in the Hub. So we'll make sure to make that a robust database for you so you can find that information. I am going to share Moxi Insights. Gain insight into your contacts in your Moxi database. And just as Edward said, he's passionate about Promote. I have found this to be an amazing tool, from having insight into my contacts, from planning my database reach out and communications to be most effective. It is your little crystal ball into what's happening in your database. So imagine that you look at your database and you have 1,000 contacts over time. It gets a little overwhelming to figure out where to spend your best efforts and how to even begin at chiseling away to stay in contact with those individuals. Of course, Moxi Engage automates communications through neighborhood news and through our monthly newsletter, but we should be reaching out in a more proactive way as well with phone calls and direct contact. And Moxi Insight is a great tool for you to realize who is most likely to be selling their home in the near future. So I'll give you an example. This is just like Moxi Promote is a tool that you can invest in. Moxi Insights is something that you can invest in. And Wonderful Moxi has given us our 5 first insights into our contacts for free. So just know that you're going to be able to tinker with this system and see if it's something that you want to utilize. Outside of that, you can either pull this data individually, or you can decide to subscribe monthly so that you can turn on a filter in your database and literally filter your contacts to see who is most likely to list. And I'll give a little overview, a deep dive into this to give you an example. The day I turned on my Moxi Insights, I had, and you can, it's hard to see in my little screenshot here, but out of 2,000 people in my database, Insights found great intel on 706, and then told me that I had 63 people in my database who were likely to be listing their home. And this is a screenshot of one of those individuals. And I'm going to break this down so you can read it a little further on future slides. But I want you to see exactly what I could see when I visited this contact, and I redacted direct information. You'll see I can, in addition to seeing the information I have set up in their profile, their basic contact information, I can hit the Moxi Insights button. It's going to give me first additional contact information for this individual. So maybe they came into my open house and I got just a phone number. The system can help me with rounding out my database and finding additional contact information. And I should say, sorry, Melissa, earmuffs, I call this Moxi Insights / our super creepy stalker application, which I absolutely love. But we only use it for good, not evil. So keep that in mind. So in addition to extra contact information, the big thing I see up top are badges that are assigned to this person. So I can quickly go through my people who are highly likely to list and see why, after they've done all this digging for me, Moxi feels this person might list. This family just had a new baby. They've got a +1 badge up here. They've been in their home for at least 10 years, and they are living below their means. They are financially sound enough that if that baby means they need to move up and have an extra bedroom or a little more space, they are financially capable of doing that. So the system pulls mortgage information for us. You'll see a whole database of information that'll save you from going to multiple sites to stalk them through tax records or courthouse retrieval. You'll see financials, estimated home value, estimated net wealth, estimated income. Do they have credit cards? Are they active investors? All kinds of information that tells you a little bit about their portfolio. Family statuses. Are they married? Do they have kids? What age children do they have in the household? See, super creepy stalker application, right? Now you're wondering what it has on you. Don't worry, you can go check that out. Demographics, what level of education, different information you can find here. Information about the vehicles they own. And yes, wait for it, lifestyle information. Do they have pets? Isn't that great to know before you go in for a listing presentation? What kind of things do they show interest in online? You know, I imagine if they're looking at DIY home improvement, they might be gearing up to sell their home. So great insight into what they're doing online and what they've shown. Apparently this person likes gambling. I didn't appreciate that when I added them as my example. So that's one example I have in my database. I pulled just a few from my highly likely to list. This family has a teenager. They're living below their means. Looking at their ages of the kids, they might be planning to downsize or right size in the near future. So I can pull this information, and I'll dive into different sections here. And Melissa, please feel free to chime in if you want to share anything specific here. The badges are my quick way to glance at somebody, and after Moxi Insights reviews all that data they collect, they pull out those triggers to make it easy for me to understand why the system feels that they are highly likely to list their home. So those are those badges you see at the top. We also have additional contact information. And Melissa, I'll actually pause for a common question I have here. The system doesn't automatically alter any of our contacts in our database. We don't want that altering the way you have in your phone or your database. So this is additional contact information that if I wanted to, I can use this to round out my database by pulling this information and then entering it into the profile. Would you agree that's the best practice there, Melissa?
Yes, I definitely would, because one thing to note is this is public record information. So you may not want to add some of this information until you know for sure that you have the right information for like email address, the actual physical address, telephone number, because it's pulling from those public records. There could be a record out there for maybe someone who has lived at their home, like a close family member, and that telephone number or email address might belong to them. So it's a great way, as Erin has shown, to get information. But we purposely didn't have a way to kind of copy it over so that you can pick and choose, is this the right information? And do I want to put this into my permanent contact record? So that's kind of how I would approach it, in taking the pieces that you need that are valuable and adding it to your contact record, or just using it in that Moxi Insights tab that Erin was showing to get that intel so that you can kind of really decide how you want to maybe market to them or when it might be right to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. All right, additional, just breaking down these are samples pulled off the Moxi website showing how long they've lived in the home so you can get a feel. Can they afford the house if they are going to be moving? Those breakdowns of estimated home value. Imagine going into a listing presentation, somebody's reached out to you, you add them to your Moxi database, and then you can review this to know what kind of questions you should be asking in that listing presentation, or at least hear you to ask some additional questions if you see data about, or they might be tight on what equity might be in those details. Family triggers, top reasons people move are kids, moving up, moving down, creating ads that are specific to individuals who have kids that are of age to be leaving the home, that you could be reaching out to them specifically with right sizing opportunities. Gifts are nice. Here are some ideas. Moxi actually, and I'll show you at the end of this, I've included the Moxi list of 100 ways you can use Moxi Insights. And I think this is great that it tells you some of the things that they show interest in when they're shopping online and looking online, I should say. So it helps with that information.
And Erin, can I jump in for just a sec?
Of course.
So one thing that I like to say, and I think it goes without saying, but whenever I'm talking about Moxi Insights, I always like to call out, be very careful with how you use this information and the way you talk about it. I definitely would not recommend saying, hey, I noticed that your net worth is this amount, or I noticed that your estimated net wealth, that's the term I was looking for, is this, because that is definitely going to probably raise some red flags, and your potential client that you might be trying to win a listing with is going to probably question where you're getting that information, even though it is public record information. So I always say, like, it's great information to have and to use. And Erin already mentioned this earlier. Be careful in the way that you approach it and the way you kind of are asking your questions. This is just great for you to have that background and knowledge. Same goes for like kids. I noticed that you have a teenager in the home, or do you have, be careful with how you use the information is what I'm getting at. And I think you all know that, but I like to call it out whenever we're talking Moxi Insights, just to be sure.
Great share. Thank you, Melissa. All right, so viewing individual insights, and I'm going to show you how to turn on this feature if you want, but just know that it's pretty easy to use. If I view any contact that you have in your people or my people in my Moxi Engage system, I have the profile, which is the contact information that I've added into the system. And below that, I would see, once you turn on the system, you have a button that says Moxi Insights, so you can view all of that additional data provided by Moxi. What I also like is if you set up the subscription and you just decide to subscribe to Moxi Insights to review your entire database, you can then, in addition to your other filters where you can filter by your groups or by actions needed, it turns on a feature that you can filter your entire database by those that are highly likely to list or likely to list, or just have intel available. So imagine that it's a Wednesday at noon when you finish this training and you say, okay, it's now my lead generation time. I need to start making phone calls. You can then filter it and pick up those. In my day I pulled this, I had 70 people that my system said are primed to be selling their home. So I can really focus my efforts there first before others. So it helps me figure out where I can best spend my time. And I'll give you the example in the actual breakdown. The day I turned on Moxi Insights, when I first trained on this, I had 63 individuals that were listed as highly likely to list. 4 had sold with me very recently. So recently the system couldn't have known that. So it was that intuitive that it recognized that. 3 were currently listed with me. 3 had already committed to list with me in the next few months, and 3 were interested in meeting for a listing presentation afterward. So you guys know I try to make myself a test dummy, and this was a year ago that I went through this, but it was scary accurate for people that had those triggers going on in their lives. And just as Melissa said, I didn't call them and say, my system says that you are likely to be listing your home. I'd like to set up an appointment. But I just made those people in my database my focus for reaching out with the, hey, how are yous? And it was extremely effective. I just pulled a little snippet from the last time I taught the class at Michael McCall. One of our agents attended. He said he instantly got 21 highly likely to list people, and then one of them said, or was already saying that they were selling in the next few months. So it can be a very effective tool for figuring out how to best focus your efforts. We've got instructions in here on how to actually turn on the system. So if you visit any contact in your database, I pulled myself as an example this morning. On the left-hand side, below profile, notes, activity, you'll see a button that says win more business. Once you click that, it'll take you to this screen. And actually below what I have on my screenshot is a great video that describes Moxi Insights further. But it's as easy as setting this up. And this is a month to month. So some of our agents have committed to this. We give 30 days notice. Is that correct, Melissa?
Well, you can cancel at any point, but depending when it bills, if you canceled, say, the day after it billed, for example, you would get a full month before it would cancel, and then not, and it's a month when you're kind of billed. And then of course you can cancel at any point really, but you're kind of paid for that month. It doesn't notify you though. So there's no email that goes out as a reminder. So just if you want to make sure you canceled at a certain point, maybe put a calendar reminder on to remind yourself.
Yeah, so we have some of our agents who have asked a question in workshops recently that they say, okay, in my slower months where I'm better at staying top of my database are these winter months, and I'd like to turn it on for 6 months now, really work my database. So you have that opportunity. I personally think it's a great investment that when I'm meeting people, I can gain that extra information for forming connections. I have a little bit of insight that saves me some of the small talk before I start finding common interest in those details. So it's a valuable tool. You can also pull Moxi Insights for an individual. So if you, and these are just the step-by-step instructions you can find on the website. And I need to give one quick, but if you go to any of your contacts, I need to do one quick update on the dashboard there. But if you go to any of your contacts and then visit the profile, which is where you have all of your contact information, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a button that says see what you're missing, which will take you to the opportunity to be able to pull insights for that individual contact in the system. I listed just a few ways to consider using Moxi Insights. Subscribe all highly likely to list contacts to your warm sellers campaign. So we have a number of campaigns now that are really effective for somebody who might even be thinking about selling their home. So consider, or you can customize a campaign that's specific to those individuals. You might pull, and just dive into a deeper example, you might pull everybody who has a teenager that might be thinking about downsizing or right sizing in the next couple of years and create a campaign that's specific to that to subscribe those individuals. Review highly likely to list people. I want to talk about right sizing. Review highly likely to list people and call to check in. Like I said, it doesn't need to be that you studied all of this information and have very specific questions or details that you want to discuss. It's just that, hey, I realize that these people are primed. They might be in that position, so I need to stay front of mind for them. And then ensure you pull insights on all new leads to learn more to connect. I mean, I even like this from a safety feature. You guys know we do. If you have somebody, you're going to go out and do a listing presentation, you're doing a little bit of cyber stalking anyway to make sure that the name matches the tax records and all of that work you have to do on 5 different websites. I like that I can put them into my database, work on my listing presentation, and then come back and the system started to pull those insights for me. So it saves me from a safety standpoint there. And I'll pause and see if we should address some questions here. I missed how to turn it on for all my contacts. Just turn it on and sign up for a month. So it'll automatically, when you sign up, it's going to continue every month. It's going to renew until you tell the system otherwise. So if you go back, and I can even go right back to this, the easiest way I find to turn it on is visit any contact in your database. On the left-hand side below their profile information, there's a button that says Win More Business, and it describes Moxi Insights. So you can select that. And then this next screen I have on the right pops up and I can click Buy Insights. Any other questions I missed there, Melissa or Edward?
No, a lot of some surprises and some shock.
Super
But
quick application.
I was gonna joke, and like that's why, you know, all of a sudden the Bye Bye Baby coupon shows up or the Petco coupon shows up. Like they know, right?
Mhm.
That's what I said. Facebook's doing it, right? I talk about something, I search something on my phone, and all of a sudden everything I need is popping up in my ads, right? Well, I know that somebody can either choose another real estate agent or they can choose an amazing JBGoodwin realtor to help them. So our mission is to help people, and this system can just help you stay in front of those individuals so we have more to help. So we're using it for good, not evil. All right, there's some great. Oh, go ahead, Melissa.
And I wouldn't even like let your clients know or that your contacts know that you have this information. Just keep it in your back pocket so that you can maybe use specific campaigns that you think might really be the right time to send those campaigns or the right fit for that contact. So I wouldn't even say like I have this information. And one thing I want to point out, because I know it can seem like a scary lot of data, is, and Erin touched on this, but I want to reiterate, think about it as taking out the work of going to LinkedIn, going to Facebook, going to all these different places to try and gather that intel for your contacts. It's just pulling all those public records. And one thing I want to call out, because that is the way that it works, if you have a contact that's really private and is very careful with what they're putting out there into the world, you may not have intel for them because they are very, very private. They just don't share things. Like my boyfriend is one of those people. He does not have a Facebook. He got rid of it. He's like, I don't want, you know, the Googles and the Facebooks of the world having all this information about me. So just something to keep in mind is that you might not get information for all of those people. But additionally, if you have a contact record that doesn't have a lot of information, if we do use a third party kind of vendor to pull down those public records, if we can't establish that it's a it's a match, we're not going to populate any information. So think if you have John Smith and I don't know, maybe an email address, and the system can't guarantee that the public records we're pulling in belong to that specific John Smith, we're not going to pull it in. So it is worth, if you have any contacts where you don't have a lot of information on their contact records, over time, if you fill those out with more information, it will connect once it's able to establish that it is the right person. So I just wanted to make you aware, you're not going to see intel for everybody based on the public records that are pulled in, but it is worth over time filling in those contact records so that you can make that connection and get that great information if it's available.
Mm-hmm. Mario asked, does a stay and flow use insights likely to list to suggest contacts?
Not yet.
Oh,
Edward, you've got it.
Sorry. I'll say Melissa can she can explain the Moxi side, but it's kind of something that's been, you know, in the works, and, you know, we've talked about, and really Moxi wants to take, and Melissa, I'm going to speak for you guys, but this data from insights, their interaction, right? The activity feed, how they interact with your systems, and then surface high value contacts, basically notify you to reach out to these people. It could be a scoring system. It could just be, you know, how much activity they had on your site, and or is it, have they reached a level where they're likely or highly likely to list? So Melissa could talk more about that, but that's using the all the big data, that's using predictive analytics, that's using interaction and activity within the Moxi system and the stuff you're sending out. So I really hope it's coming soon. Melissa's not going to give us a date, but she might be able to explain it a little better than I did.
I would say it's more an ongoing process because there are so many things out there that need to be connected in order to populate that information. And what you see, there's so much more that goes on in the background. I'm always amazed when I hear from our development team, kind of all the different connections. But to Edward's point, that is definitely the long-term plan, is using the kind of like AI type stuff and all of that activity and populating it and surfacing it to you on your dashboard so that you know maybe who you should be engaging with and when, so that you aren't missing out on an opportunity and find out, you know, a contact you have has gone with another agent is kind of really the idea. It's to help you win more business. So I would say it's a long-term plan to start to make those connections, but it's something that our team is actively working on over time. And of course, I'll be sure to keep Edward and team in the know so that they can share kind of once we have those additional pieces come into play.
Yeah, and I'll say this, you can already use the activity dashboard if you've got people signed up. So one of the things, you know, we teach everyone to categorize people as A, B, or C, and you may not necessarily schedule those automatic touch points for your C's or your D's or whatever you have, but you can already start using the activity dashboard to go through and see if you have someone that's you're not scheduled to contact, but is already interacting. And so that person doesn't slip through the cracks, right? You reach out to them, and ideally in the future, yeah, your daily is, here's all your people that are you need to reach out to, and here's the people you've scheduled to reach out to on a certain cadence, that to help make prospecting much easier, but really much more fruitful, I would say. Aaron, did you have your 100 ways?
I didn't create this. This Moxi made this. So if you're curious, Moxi Insights is a good tool and how you could use it. I posted, this is from the Moxi website, but they have 100 ways to use Moxi Insights. I found it really valuable, and it will just stimulate some good marketing ideas for reaching out to your database. So I did include that here, and you can find that whole overview or find it on Moxi. And then I just kind of wanted to recap what we were describing, what might be some best practices. I know you guys have been working so hard over the last couple of weeks through contact training with Moxi to get your contacts all loaded in. So Moxi Insights is a tool that's valuable. You can turn on today and start focusing on working that database. Kind of what Edward was talking through and what you might consider a plan moving forward with working towards promote. Melissa and Edward, you tell me if you agree. You might want to look at setting up your professional business page on Facebook if that's going to be your next step for utilizing those promote tools. I do have a training that I just invited everybody to tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Facebook pages. Then I would encourage you to reach your JBG target to have your website turned on. Then follow the basic website setup instructions so that you have the basic setup on your website. So if you're driving people back to your listing on your site, if they start clicking around, they find your bio and all of those details, and then use Moxi Promote to start lead generating ads. Would you guys agree? I think those could be our steps moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
100%. And for the website piece as well, having that web presence and the ability to get that those analytics that are populated in the activity feed, so you can see, hey, if someone is going to your website daily and checking out listings, you're seeing this activity, well, that's a great indicator. It's time to reach out and check in with them so that you can get more information. So yes, 100% agree with that.
Yeah, and I'll say, you know, with the promote, and we're going to talk about this a lot next week on the lead generation. So week 4 is generating leads, right? Lead follow-up, converting the leads, and then discussing all the different lead sources that automatically feed into Moxi Engage. But a big part of that is going to be, you know, when you generate the leads, I recommend having insights running, because I've done that test where I've generated literally hundreds of leads from social media, and then I've had Moxi Insights running because I don't know these people at all. Right, it's great to know more about your sphere, but it's also very valuable to know more about people, you know something about a lead you know nothing about. Then that helped me further categorize, and just like Aaron said, you can have a new lead come in, and now they're categorized as a warm seller prospect based on insights. So it's allowing you to filter and funnel and segment these leads. We're going to do a deep dive next week. Like I said, Michael McCall is going to be on. He generates leads. A big part of his business is from online leads. He's going to be on. Melissa, Aaron, Tony, all of us to help you talk about leads, lead gen. But let's say for this Friday, we'll have a similar setup as we did last week. on the Q&A. It won't just be specifically Q&A, but I'm going to go a little deeper into, or do another demo on creating the CMA and newsletter sign-up forms. Erin has forms information she sent out. I'll also answer questions on those forms. We'll talk about different types of ads and landing pages and how they can be used in Moxi Promote. And on Insights, we can just discuss the additional ways they can be used. But I think what will be exciting is, hopefully some of you from today will go ahead and turn Insights on, let that run, go back and preview or review your clients and your database and see what kind of information it pulled in. Tell us, how correct is it? Are there any surprises? Are you able to reach out to someone? Do you have any success stories? So we're really eager to hear back Friday on any results from turning on Moxi Insights. And once again, we'll record it. We'll share it back out. Everything today is recorded. All the resources are going to be on the jbgoodwin.biz/Moxi Insight. Moxi Spotlight. I tongue-tied that one. So jbgoodwin.biz/Moxi Spotlight. We're going to put the video and all the resources up there today. But yeah, email me, Edward@JBGoodwin, if you have any questions. You have questions about website. I'll also be sending out more info on that. We'll probably follow up this project with another website class and a new push to get help on websites. But thank you guys for being here today. I look forward to seeing you all Friday. Thank you, Erin and Melissa and everybody for helping.
Thanks everyone for attending. See you Friday.
Bye guys, see you Friday.
Bye.